It's my privilege tonight to have a quarterback from Centerville, Chase Harrison, and I've known him for 4 years. I've known his dad for too many years. I'm joking, but I've also have so much respect for his brother. Now, has he graduated yet from the academy or not? Is he
Yes,
still in
sir.
school?
Yeah, he graduated and now he's working.
At the Naval Academy. Which one did he go to? Air Force?
He went to the Naval
Navy.
Academy.
That's what I thought. That's really good. Yeah, I'm really proud of him. Well, Chase, in general, how are you handling the COVID, this whole pandemic, as far as workouts and things like that?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to be able to still work out the same regimen I always have. Right now we're lifting with the team, so been pretty lucky to do that. So I'll do that 3 days a week, and then I'll work out by myself twice, and then I'll try and go Sundays and go throw. So I mean, so far I'm just trying to do what I can do. Been lucky enough that COVID hasn't really affected that, so just grateful for that.
That's good. And stay ready, because like we talked about before we came on, I think June's going to be a quiet period where you can get out and go to campuses and see the coaches. And of course, I'm sure you've been through many of the campuses already. I mean, over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And your quarterback, how tall are you now?
I'm about 6'2", close to a half, so 6'2" and a half.
You look all a 6'2", and I'm watching you grow that way too. But tell me, let's talk, because you're one of the guys that's been playing quarterback for a long time. Well, you started. I remember reading about you. You started in the 5th grade, right, or 6th grade, someplace in there, didn't you? I'm talking about competitive quarterback.
Well, yeah, I mean, I played quarterback ever since I was I think 10. Sorry, not 10. I started in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
So I was pretty young when I started playing. So I've been playing my whole life.
So playing so early now, weren't you playing competitive in the 6th grade or something, traveling and things like that, or not? Am I wrong? I was thinking you played like youth league football and things like that.
No, I never did that. I think middle school, we went down to Canton, Ohio, and we did this 7-on-7 tournament against other schools across the state. So I mean, I've done that before, but I haven't done a youth league or something like that.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking of, because I've followed you for a long time, it seems, and you keep getting better and better. And I thought I was going to get out of this business this year, and I didn't go to any football games, and I didn't have anything to do with anything. And then I got the urge back in December, and it's really good to see you. What advice would you give to a young quarterback? Let's just talk about, for you, quarterbacks. What advice would you give to a young junior high quarterback? What are you going to tell him?
First off, I'd start just say to build that work ethic early. I think being a young person on a team, varsity or really anything, you don't always have to be the most vocal person, because sometimes the seniors will do that, or upperclassmen, but always lead by example. I think the seniors will respect that the most. The juniors will respect it. So I think just lead by example and have that work ethic going in.
And you've had the experience to do that, because now you started as a sophomore, right?
Started as a freshman, game 3.
I want to say that. I didn't know if you started halfway through the season or as coming. I remember that, but so you've had a lot of experience, and you can give that kind of advice. What do you think? What do you think about the worst part of being not the worst part? What's the hardest part about being a quarterback?
I think definitely the hardest part, or just the thing you have to be most conscious about, is just there's always eyes on you. Just always knowing that whatever you do has an effect on someone else, and everyone's always looking up to you, even if you don't think so, or you don't want them to, that they are. So I just think knowing the right decision wherever you go is the most important thing.
Yeah, when I was a head coach, I started a sophomore quarterback, and he was pretty good as a freshman. And I tell him, I say, Mark, there are only two people in this stadium who are going to get yelled at. It's me and you. So let's be good. But, I'm joking, but in a way I'm not. But okay, that's really good. Who's kind of been an influence on you throughout the whole, your playing time, and anybody who's influenced who's been kind of a rock or giving you advice? Anybody in the picture with that?
I think definitely it would have to be my older brother. I think ever since I was young, he's always set a good example on me. So I think ever since, just he's always competitive, always wanted the best for me. Never really let me make a bad decision. He'd always give me good advice. So I think him going through this process and now helping me out through the whole process. So I think him has probably been the best advice I've ever gotten.
Yeah, like I told you earlier, or said in this podcast, I really have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
What he's done, and he did his own thing, did it the right way, and succeeded. With that being said, is there any quarterback that you kind of look up to or kind of watch closely and emulate to a certain extent?
Like NFL wise, or
it could be NFL, college, or whatever.
Ooh, I mean that's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I would say so far I like Josh Allen, Buffalo. I mean, maybe I don't know everything, but from what I see, he's a really good guy on and off the field. Really good with his teammates. So I think that's probably someone you want to emulate after. So I just think just someone who's good on and off the field.
And he is, by the way. His college quarterback coach is from Ohio and from Salina. Mm-hmm. And now he's at Western Michigan. I'm sure it's Western Michigan, but he thinks the world of him. And he said people didn't give him much of a chance coming out. I mean, to be a top quarterback, but he just worked his tail off and everything. Yeah. He did that. Who would you trade places with for one day? If you could trade places, Chase, with anybody for one day, who would it be?
One day.
I can give you another question if you want, man.
I mean, that's a good question. I really don't have one, to be honest.
Okay. Then what skill, I'll give you another one then. What skill would you like to have that you don't have and probably couldn't do?
I mean, I'd love to be able to fly around the city. I think that'd be pretty cool. Just take the
That's crazy. Somebody else told me the same thing. They just like get out and fly. But and you don't want to play a guitar or anything like that. Huh? You don't want to be a musician or anything.
Okay. I think I'd take flying over that.
That's good. Being a quarterback, you probably get a lot of this. This interview is going too fast. I'm watching the clock. Being a quarterback, what annoys you the most? Or just in general, what gets under your skin or annoys you most?
I mean, I wouldn't really say anything annoys me or, frustrates me.
Annoys is an easy one. I mean, just bugs you sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the one thing that can maybe get in your head sometimes is just that when something goes wrong on the field or even off the field, sometimes you're looked to it. I mean, even if you had nothing to do with it, or maybe that can be frustrating, but at the same time, I completely understand why. I mean, you're the main person on the team, then you need to take responsibility and everything. But yeah, probably that.
Okay. What's the best thing about playing football?
Probably just all the memories. I think sometimes like practice it can be hard. You're running conditioning, but the relationships you make with everyone and all the coaches, I think is special, and you hold for your whole life. Okay,
going into your senior year, to follow up, is there any one moment that sticks out in your mind? As you look back, you say that would be the one or first or second thing? What would be a top memory? Do you have any?
I'd say probably my top memory just from football is probably freshman year when we beat Fairmont. We didn't have the best record going into the game, and we were counted out by a lot of people, and we beat them. And that was really fun in the locker room after. So I think that was probably one of my best.
Great experience then. Okay, we talked about trading places. What's you feel is your strength right now as a quarterback?
I think definitely my mental game can set myself apart from the rest. I think I know the defenses. I know where to attack them, and I think I can make any throw on the field.
That's good. When the quarterback from Toledo Central Catholic went up to Notre Dame. I forget his name right now. It slips me. But he told me that at Notre Dame, they didn't throw the football for the first 3 months. All they did is work on classroom. And I thought that was so amazing. He said he had to know everything the defensive coaches knew, and just kind of what you're talking about. I think we'll all get caught up in the technique, arm throwing motion and things like that. And I think there are a lot more things to worry about than that.
For sure.
That's really good that you understand that and can make those decisions. What is something that, not necessarily a weakness, Chase, but what's something that you have to work on to be better?
I think definitely, this year I've been working on in the off season. It's just my first to 10 yards of acceleration. I think when I get going, I'm pretty hard to catch in the open field. But I think if I just get that first to 10 yards, it'll be easier to make plays. People won't be able to catch me. So I think that's something I've been working on this off season.
And that comes with strength too, doesn't it?
For sure.
You're getting stronger and I think getting heavier, stronger, more self-confident as far as delivering a blow sometimes rather than getting hammered, and you get a little bit more force as a ball carrier, but that's good. Okay, let's talk about recruiting for just a little bit. What's the best thing about recruiting? I think now you're talking to all these you're not talking to old people like me and jock sniffers and stuff like that. You're talking to kids. And I'm going to ask you another question in a minute. What's the best thing about recruiting?
I think definitely one of the coolest things is just being able to go visit schools, going to see what every place is like. I think going on game visits is also really cool. Getting to see the locker room, getting to see how coaches handle themselves, getting to see all the players. So I think that's probably the coolest thing. When you're a freshman and you go out and see Justin Fields playing or something like that, it's like someone you look up to, and it's just something you won't forget. So I think just going on visits and just seeing all the places is really cool.
What's the toughest thing? Not necessarily the worst thing. What's the toughest thing about recruiting? Well, one maybe you don't like as much.
Maybe I think the toughest thing is just knowing that maybe not every coach is just interested in you. It's sometimes the coaches will find someone else, they might think they're better than you or something like that. It doesn't mean it's true. It's just their opinion. So I think that might be the toughest thing to realize or come to fact. Yeah,
there's a lot to be said about that. And just that, it's an ugly business. Recruiting is an ugly business sometimes. And that's good. What would you tell a sophomore then? You've been through the process. What would you tell a sophomore about recruiting? A little bit the same thing, or what advice would you give him?
Don't go to Twitter and just look at people's offers, and don't just go strolling through your page and just seeing everyone offer. Your time's gonna come. Focus on yourself and try to be the best you and not worry about other people.
And offers are so bogus sometimes.
Right.
There are so many different kinds of offers. Mm-hmm. Well, that's really good. I really appreciate you taking the time. We finally got hooked up here, and you've done a good job. I appreciate the interview, Chase.
Okay? I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.